Make sure my mic.
Check.
Hello. Hello.
Echo.
I'm good.
KVW, KVW, KVW,
You need
KVW.
make a Slurpee.
Why don't you this on?
There we go.
Step inside the ring, feel the adrenaline rush. Cage of iron, where dreams turn to dust. Beneath the neon lights, we unleash the fury in this virtual cage. It's time to tell our story. The cloud roars of anticipation, bites for lives, and to form this underground fight. We're rebel suffering, breaking all the rules. Beating our hearts out like blood fools. KVW, KVW, KVW. In the heart of the cave, we fight for love. KVW, KVW. Where legends rise and dreams burn bright above.
Finally, the cavemen are back with KVW. What's up, Zach?
What's going on, Jersey?
Chillin', man. You know, we stay in the cave. As you could tell, we're missing Danny. Still out.
Yeah.
I was told he needs advanced therapy.
Dang.
Might be going overseas for some TRT, man.
Is he trying to Cody cutter tonight, or?
I think he was feeling a little loose, but yeah, he tried some. I think he just tried running around the ropes, bro, and I think he pulled something again in his lower back.
Damn.
Meanwhile, J2 is killing it, defending the belt. So I don't know, man. Probably needs a special guest referee advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. All right.
But before we begin the show, make sure you guys join our Discord community filled with crazy ass people like you and me so we could talk wrestling, play some wrestling, and stay connected. You know what I'm saying? 24/7 people in there. I mean, I never sleep. The link to that should be on our Patreon page. And you can find it on our website, cave.com. That's k4v3.com. But if you're watching this live, the link is actually in the comments section. So go join right now, you bitch.
Straight up.
All right. So last show, I think we had our first WWE show, right? Or NXT Tuesdays last show. Yeah. So we had Gunther versus Kenny Omega, dream match.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think won that one?
That was Omega.
That was Omega. But do you think he would have won that one if that happened?
No, he would have put over Gunther. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
He's talking nowadays like he's for the betterment of the business. Like he's already proven, he's already done his stuff. He was already like tonight he had a chat and he was saying no Roman slander allowed. So
as he should, bro. Acknowledge him.
Right.
him. Then last week we also, or not last week, earlier this week we had Darby Allin and Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and Will Ospreay fantasy match. That was crazy.
Oof.
And we had Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker, probably sparking a rivalry. But tonight we got Brock Lesnar against Swerve Strickland, MJF versus Kevin Owens. Who else we got? Kevin Nash versus Edge or Adam Copeland, whatever you want to call him. And you know we intertwine our wrestling talk, so you hear us talk some wrestling, man. So let's get started. We got Brock Lesnar versus Swerve Strickland. Here we go. Newly crowned AEW champion, right?
That's right. Newly crowned first promo, I think this tomorrow on Collision.
Having some technical difficulties right now, but it's okay. We called it, by the way. Kind of sad for, kind of feeling bad for Samoa Joe because he's a good wrestler, been putting in his time, and I literally thought they just kind of had him warm up the title and keep it warm until somebody else picked it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he was. I think it was the right call to take it off of MJF, and then also the right call to drop it to Swerve. I know people were calling for it at Revolution, but that would have got lost in the shuffle, because that was Sting's retirement pay-per-view. That's what they were tailoring it towards. So, looking back, it was probably unpopular at the time, but now it was the right call to do it on Dynasty, the inaugural pay-per-view for, or the inaugural Dynasty for AEW, which was a good call by Tony.
I thought that was such a random title match. I thought it was random that Samoa Joe won. It just felt weird to me, the whole thing.
At Revolution?
Yeah, when MJF lost, I thought it was an injury or something
MJF.
when they called an audible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was giving love to Samoa Joe, but also MJF needed to go away and get people to miss him again.
Well, one of the most probably decorated combat athletes in the game, Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
6'3", 286 pounds. UFC heavyweight champion. I mean,
in the trunks again too.
Yeah, this is old school. I think 2003 Brock Lesnar. Probably the most intimidating, but it's hard to say because he's more intimidating right now with the fucking UFC championship in his resume,
Yeah, he's like one of those few guys that has had two different runs of different levels of intimidation. His first run, next big thing, no one knew anything really about him. And, Paul Heyman led the way on that one. Came out of nowhere. And then he goes plays for the Vikings, goes to the UFC, wins some titles. UFC comes back, messes up Cena on his first night back. Looks a whole different type of intimidation there, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, early on when no one really knew him, Paul Heyman was his manager, right? So kind of needed a little piggyback from Paul. But he did put the Hardy Boys over, I thought. Like we said last episode, he put Eddie Guerrero over, dropped the title to him, which was really respectable, I think, looking back. But didn't really put Spike or Hardcore Holly over.
No, I think with Spike, the way he put him over was he was doing some crazy things to him just because of the size differential, and so now those clips live in infamy. And like when you think of Brock, I think some people do think of Spike right away too. All those nasty power bombs and crazy spots back in the day that Brock used to do.
Am I crazy to say there wouldn't be a Darby Allin without a Spike Dudley?
I think some people would think you're crazy, but I could see it though.
Yeah,
like the crash test dummy.
Well, the difference is I don't think Spike Dudley wanted to do those Darby Allin stunts. I think that shit just happened to him. You know what I mean?
It always felt like Bubba and Devon just kind of would bet he couldn't do some of these things. And Spike was
like the little brother trying to prove himself.
Like reverse psychology.
It's so fucked up.
Speaking of the Dudley Boys, they came back tonight, reunited for the night one of the WWE draft on SmackDown.
Oh, really?
Came out there again. Yeah, they announced some picks.
Okay. Well, shit. This is AEW versus WWE, technically, but in the KVW verse.
Yep.
Drafted to the AEW, so we also had our own draft prior to the WWE having their draft. So who went to SmackDown and who went to Raw? What are some highlights from the draft? I didn't really pay attention to that.
Yeah, that was a very interesting draft that we all had. Me, you, and Abra. When we were going through it, I definitely felt like my goal was to pick wrestlers for these shows that I would want to see, mixed up in real life.
Yeah.
So while we weren't necessarily picking the best wrestlers, going like first pick was this, first pick was that because of like their caliber of them as wrestlers. It was more so like what matchups do we want to see. So I mean, I remember there came a time in the draft where I was looking at who was it? Like we had Benoit in our draft, right?
Yeah,
like
he is in there.
So
Time out. Speaking of that, did you hear the person in the crowd who yelled out Chris Benoit during the draft?
What? Tonight?
Yeah, I don't know if it was number 8 or it was a number. Kimura locked in early. Triple H kind of smiled, but before he announced whatever number, I'll post it. I'll try to find it, but yeah, someone yelled Chris Benoit.
I need to see that clip. I did not know that.
Before we move on, though, Triple H, do the right thing. Do the right thing. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
Oh, I don't know if that's gonna happen, dude. You're tripping a little bit there. That's I don't know if they want to touch that one. There's already enough going on, you know. I liked putting Bray and Taker on the same show. Bray quickly became one of my favorite current wrestlers, and being able to have him be part of this, and we can watch him virtually wrestle again, was definitely a highlight for me. Brock Lesnar going to AEW is something that's interesting because,
yeah,
I mean, technically he's currently a free agent, and so putting him in AEW in our virtual universe. Is we get something like this with Swerve, like we get to see Brock versus Swerve. It's pretty interesting.
Isn't there a joke currently going online about Brock Lesnar just dismantling and disrupting African American champions?
Yeah, I do think it's actually funny now that you mention that this is his first match, and it's the same week that Swerve just became champ. So
yeah, there's a lot of controversy between
incredibly random here in KVW that this happened, but at the same time, kind of hilarious.
Here we go. He might be ending it right now. F5. Oh, damn! We had bad connection over there, but that was an F5 landing.
Is that a camera botch? Oh, of course.
Or it might be a Uncle Howdy glitch.
Hey,
who knows?
Those things are coming back, and it's pretty interesting to follow those.
Who is Uncle Howdy, bro?
Bo Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, Bray's brother. Fun fact: I have a little fun story about that. The wife and I back in 2015 went to Mania 31.
Okay.
And we got one of those travel packages that WWE used to offer back in the day, and it came with tickets to like Mania, Hall of Fame, and then we bought Raw tickets, and it was the first NXT show outside of Florida, was during that weekend. But they also had access tickets, WrestleMania access, and Bo Dallas was one of the like stations you can go to get autographs or whatever. And so we go up there to meet him, and we're talking to him, and obviously outside, we know that Bo and Bray were brothers.
Yeah.
And so I straight up asked him, I was like, all right, so are you guys ever going to work together? Like, that'd be so cool to see you guys, doing something together. And he was like, never say never. That was in 2015. Yeah. All the way. Like, I mean, I know that they feuded a little bit with when Hardy and Bray were together against Bo and Curtis Axel. But then at the very end, like one of the last things that Bray did was him and Bo together doing the new Bray and Uncle Howdy stuff. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was actually, like I said, one of my first introductions to Bray Wyatt, because I didn't know him up until his last return,
Okay.
But it's a cop out of an answer, but at the same time, if you pull through, it's a genius of an answer to say never as a wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the biggest like cliche answer people give in the wrestling business is never say never.
Right.
And then like when somebody says, "Oh, I'll never do that," or "I'll never go there," and then you get those internet trolls. Oh, he said never, so now if he does,
right? I don't trust him, man. He said this.
Yeah, Like we had something this week where it was like, I'm never gonna be part of an angle on TV. Like, oh, Meltzer
Oh man,
driver. Wow.
yeah. So that was actually really fucking funny, bro. I think they were highlighting how Jungle Boy or what's he going by now? Fucking Scapegoat punched him in the stomach, but he
Jack Perry.
pretty much fell like he got socked in the face, and then later sold the stomach.
Whoa, Sammy's making his debut in KVW.
No, Kenny.
was Sammy,
Kevin
right?
Owens. What's up?
Sammy wasn't part of the draft.
I don't think he was part of their draft, but he's coming in as a manager, the homie.
Oh, look at that! Love that little plot twist here in the case.
I would have rather seen him with the bloodline, but that's just personal opinion.
Hey, might be coming.
Looks good with the belt. Looks good with the belt, though.
And that belt's fire. He does look
Dream
good.
match too. This would be a fire match. MJF versus KO.
MJF? Yes.
Syllable or initial match.
Yeah. That's like Y2 AJ when they were a team. RKO.
RKO.
Tag team there.
Mm-hmm.
RKO.
Yeah, this match would go hard. But what do you think about the brand split, man? I remember watching wrestling and then seeing them do a real draft. I didn't really like it at first because to me, it was like, man, I don't get to see these combinations that I want to anymore, you know, up until you build up the pay-per-view. But how do you feel about brand split?
I like it. I'm a sucker for drafts, and it's obviously happening right now during the NFL draft. So it makes it even more exciting. But it's the more they've done them, the like, not the lamer they've gotten, but the almost like this like monotonous that they've gotten. It's not super exciting. It's just like the idea of a draft, and it's like switching people is exciting, but the execution of it has kind of fallen flat.
You know what? I could see that, especially after a while, you know. But
I love
I
the brand
do.
split though. Like having two rosters, like they're so big, like it makes sense. But like the draft itself, is what it is.
It's a good wild card to stretch out whatever storylines you have. You know, if you have a limited storylines, it definitely multiplies whatever limited storylines you possibly have. That was a crazy ass fucking whatever that was.
Snapdragon suplex.
My mindset when I was drafting was, of course, I wanted my characters that I knew because I knew how to kind of mix them in with whatever characters that you guys had, you know. So it didn't matter where they were going because at the end of the day, I felt like I wanted it to build up to huge pay-per-views, you know, where possibly there might be a wrestler that just takes all the belts.
Dude.
Spoiler alert, right? Currently, KO is the only KVW champion. So this is a huge coming out party right now for KO. Probably the biggest wrestler right now in this league.
Is this a title match?
Non-title match. And on top of that, MJF won that Battle Royale. So he's the #1 contender for the actual title.
Okay.
Because even though KO is the first champion, he's the mid-card title holder.
Got it.
So, yeah, man. So, as much as I don't like it because it limits the possibility of different combos with the draft, it does. It's a wild card in the game, I feel like. So I see the angle, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for certain people, it's good because like if they're not really doing anything on one brand, like throw them to the other, see what happens, you know.
Yeah, that too.
I do think something that was funny though was they had that storyline going where Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce were like trying to vie for Braun Breaker services, and he ended up signing with SmackDown. He got drafted to Raw tonight. It's like that was like 2 weeks ago. Like he signed with SmackDown. It's like, oh, there it goes. Like you spent that time, you know, trying to get him, and that was a storyline took TV time from people, and now he gets drafted to Raw.
Damn, I think MJF just out wrestled KO.
Yeah, he did.
That's what I thought about this match. It'd be like a hardcore fighter match versus, you know, a technical high IQ wrestler, and I think that's what we saw. I don't think KO was out, but I just don't think he knew how to get out of that technique, whatever technique that was.
Yeah, he didn't have a way out of that one. That's it's very interesting going forward. We'll see what happens with that.
Conan coming in with NW. NWO slowly forming here in the AEW flag of KVW. But one more thing about the draft. Is Raw exclusively on Netflix?
Starting January of next year, yes.
And so SmackDown's still going to be where it's at.
SmackDown's moving to USA.
Okay, and so obviously that factors in with the draft too, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
That was always like the unwritten rule of like these drafts with these two TV companies is like the executives at these networks aren't going to want to give up people, you know, they're not going to want to give up Roman Reigns. Like, you're not just going to let your biggest ratings draw switch TV shows, you know, for the sake of a kayfabe program. So I think that kind of reigns true. They just went ahead and were like, we're going to keep the champions where they're at. They're locked onto their rosters. So that's a way to get around that. And then Roman took himself out of the draft this year. He's like,
oh, he did.
Yeah. So he's like a free agent. But the Bloodline got drafted to SmackDown.
What?
Yeah. So
all of them or what?
Everybody except for Jimmy and Jay. So Tama and Heyman and Solo.
Okay. Well, obviously they're gonna cook.
Yeah.
They're gonna cook with those guys for a little bit.
I was kind of hoping they were gonna go to Raw though.
I thought they were locked into Raw because I thought The Rock was gonna. But who knows, man?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna be on they're not gonna be on Netflix until when?
January.
Yeah, so
next draft.
I can see them cooking on SmackDown, and then some shuffle comes in, and where the final boss says, "You guys are in Raw now," and now the people who were sold on SmackDown now have to go to Netflix to watch Raw. You know what I'm saying?
That would be interesting. Like The Rock makes a trade without the GMs knowing.
I'm the final boss. It doesn't matter what you say.
You think I don't have any power? It doesn't matter what you think.
What brand are you in? It doesn't matter what brand you're in. Yeah, because I remember seeing those promos with Cody Rhodes and The Rock, and everyone's saying the PG era is over, and this is like a second, version of the Attitude Era. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I kind of saw that, but only with Roman and Rock, so I thought that SmackDown would kind of be their PG show and Raw would be their Attitude Era show. You know what I'm saying? They're more
kind of seems that way.
So I guess what I'm asking is, well, first of all, is the pay going to be the same? Because I know Netflix money is different than USA money,
Yeah, like the pay that WWE gets from Netflix.
I'm talking about USA. The wrestlers. So like, you get a pay cut being on SmackDown compared to Raw. You know what I mean?
Probably not. I think they just get one flat talent contract, and then wherever they go is where they go. But the contracts that they hand out factor in the new TV deals and all that.
Okay.
So, I mean, everybody's eating. At the end of the day,
the brand split just kayfabe.
Yeah, it's okay. Kayfabe.
Everybody
eats. I mean,
cool.
It's a way to spread the TV wealth, like TV time wealth around, Like back in the day, Attitude Era, like Austin was on every show, Raw and SmackDown. Like Rock was on Raw and SmackDown. And you get, those jobbers get lost in the shuffle.
In Cave, we have a bunch of different projects with a bunch of different topics. Like we always try to intertwine and cross promote things. So obviously, if we're all getting paid the same, then obviously the quality in SmackDown goes up too. So SmackDown's almost like a funnel to Raw.
Yeah.
Vice versa. You have cliffhangers from Raw that lead to SmackDown. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So WWE knows what they're doing, bro. I trust them.
Yeah, they're a well-oiled machine. Industry leader for a reason.
Yeah. I can't wait for that Netflix deal, bro. And do you know if the whole library or the whole archive of Raw is going to be on there or what?
That'll probably stay on Peacock if I had to guess.
Fuck.
You don't have Peacock?
I had Peacock, but I was planning on getting rid of it after they switched over to Netflix. God damn it.
Yeah, so that deal I think extends a couple more years.
Oh, okay. So there's gonna be a transition between when
It
they
might end up on Netflix. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of shit to upload for Netflix. So like on their back end, you know.
It
It's a
is,
lot.
bro. It is,
A
and
lot.
they always archive some of their shit too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which that's the cool thing about Peacock is whenever you fucking remember an old ass wrestling memory, you can just fucking pick it up from there.
Yeah. Yep. You just search for it. Yep.
Yep.
I just wish they had like unedited promos, like segments,
Oh
because like
yeah.
they have certain things where it's like I remember that was longer, and like you could tell that they cut it. You know,
Yeah.
was that a splash from the top
Did
rope?
he just
Yeah.
fucking? Oh, you
Shit,
better
dude.
end the fucking match that way, dude.
I've
NWO
never
is
seen
not
him.
playing any games, bro.
I have never seen him do that before in his career, dude.
Yeah, well, you
Love
know
that.
the
That's why you see it on KVW. Dude.
KVW baby. The stage is set and the lights are bright over here, so you know he had to jump off the top ropes with this one.
Copeland's having a rough go here, dude.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was told that the doctors advised him not to come on, but he felt like he had a point to prove after the Kane loss, and I thought it was over after Jackknife Powerbomb, but that motherfucker kicked out. Took a choke slam and a top rope body splash from fucking Big Daddy Cool.
Good lord.
That's fucking crazy. Well, you know what? We did say that we wanted to inject some female wrestlers
Yeah.
into KVW. So this might be our last 3-match format. And the next time you see these shows, we're going to do a draft and maybe go 4-match format. One women's match
Each show.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite women's wrestlers right now is Jade Cargill, and I guess let's talk about her before we sign off, man. What the fuck are they doing with her, bro?
They're slowly getting her acclimated to the WWE style. But they're still showcasing her in a very smart way. Like that Rumble debut was fire. They put her in a 6-woman tag at Mania for obvious reasons. But
Mhm.
I think we're about time to rip that band-aid off. Like take off the training wheels, you know. But now I think they're motivated to kind of slow build like the angle, like her and Bianca, you know, because
Yeah.
they're fighting at Backlash for the tag titles. So I mean, let her keep, you know, learning and doing all that. She's doing a lot at the she's doing a lot more on the house shows.
Mhm.
I don't know if you caught any clips or glimpses of that, but she was taking some offense, you know, from Kabuki Warriors the other night
Okay.
at a house show. So you know she's working, she's still learning, still super green, but just untapped potential right there, dude.
As cool as it is to see her with Bianca Belair, it's kind of concerning because it's like, damn, you need to be alongside Bianca Belair when people already feel like you're your own icon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I do see that being the starting point for a slow burn to have them go up against each other, which was always the plan. Come on.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a SummerSlam match if I had to guess. I think next year's Mania has to be Jade versus Charlotte.
Oh wow.
I
What's
think
up with
that would.
Charlotte? Is
She's
she
out.
okay?
She's hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she tore her knee up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like towards the end of last year, and she had surgery right away, and she was already like rehabbing like 2 weeks after surgery. It was nuts. Just posting
Damn.
these clips on social of her doing like one-legged like lunges or whatever. It's just crazy shit that she shouldn't be doing, you know, weeks for post surgery. So
She's
she's a
crazy
freak, dude.
athletic though. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's crazy
Now
athletic.
she's got her husband's in the same company too. She can't wait to get back, man.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
All right. Well, one more question about women's wrestler, man. We'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Becky Lynch taking the belt again? That one was a mixed reaction. And I feel
As
like
long,
Becky Lynch has done her work in order to be respected. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I guess not.
I'll
What do you
say
think?
this: it made sense. I called it and thought it was gonna happen, but as long as they're using that to like put over Liv, because like Liv has a lot of momentum on her side right now. If
Hmm.
the end game is like Liv beating Becky and that puts Liv over, it'll be the best decision they could have made. The other
Okay.
option I was thinking they were gonna do, honestly, was put it on Nia. Have
Hmm.
Nia win that battle royal, and then have her be the dominant heel, getting heat every week. Because Rhea's gonna be out for a while. Um, I think that would have been a good decision too. But I would like to see Liv beat Becky. That would just like keep adding to Liv's resume and making her like a threat and keep building her as a women's threat. Because every time she seems to get close to like the top, she gets hurt or something happens that's like
Hmm.
out of her control, and so we never get to really see it. Aside from that, because like that cash in that she did on was it Ronda?
I don't know.
Like
I don't remember.
was a when she cashed, it's like the viral clip of her cashing in. Like Michael Cole and Pat were losing their shit on commentary. Um, like that's when I was like, okay, they might have something with Liv because I was never really a believer. Uh, so, but since then they haven't been able to recapture that, and so
Yeah.
hopefully this could be a way to do it.
Yeah. That was the interesting thing. I felt like she had a lot of momentum up until the
Mhm.
fans like decided to. I don't know. It's almost like all her momentum shifted to Rhea Ripley. You know.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was during the Royal Rumble because they were
uh,
the last two, right?
yeah, she's been the final eliminated person in the last 3 women's battle royals. So
Damn.
the last 2 rumbles and then this past one on Monday, dude. Oh, that's crazy.
He looked devastated, but
I know.
yeah, man, I can't wait to
Good.
inject the female wrestlers into KVW. It's gonna be
Let's
dope.
let's get these ladies in here.
Hopefully, Abra's fine and pulsating off that TRT from overseas by the
Hey,
next time. You know what I'm saying?
speaking of Abra, I don't know if you want to get into it now, if we want to save it,
What's up?
but we gotta talk about Tony Khan, dude.
Oh, you know what? Let's make that
Let's
be the
save it.
teaser.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
let's
save it.
make that be the teaser.
But I have some thoughts, man. So, all right, we gotta talk about it next week,
To be honest, I think you have 2 episodes worth of thoughts, man, because I think you wanted to
dude.
get into the last episode too.
I did, but we need Abra in this episode.
Yeah.
So get well soon, Abra. We need you
Uh,
back here, bud.
Hell yeah. If you want to see how Abra's doing, you can hit him up in our Discord community filled with crazy ass people like you and me 24/7. You can find a link to that in the comments if you're watching this live. If not, it's on our website at k4v3.com. That's cave.com. Jerezy over here. I'm over here with Field to Burn over right there. And KVW signing off. Peace.
Peace. Give it up. I can't wait to talk
Hey,
about that shit from this week from
you think you
AEW.
could tell me what to do? Think you could tell me what